Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mrs. Gorkiewicz. This video is going to serve to help you get a start with one of my favorite pieces of software that helps us do a lot of geometric constructions, and that's called GeoGebra. Okay, so you should have this document in front of you that's kind of going to run through the activity. There's a few instructions at the top as far as how the software works. I'll walk you through that. And then there are 5 constructions or drawings that I need you guys to do. If you're working in a single period, that you'll probably get through maybe the first 3, maybe 4, and it might take our second period to finish up the last bit. But what you need to do next is go to geogebra.org. Okay, geogebra.org. It's going to look like this. And what you're going to go to on geogebra.org is GeoGebra Classic. Okay, that's what we're going to be drawing in. Now, before we go too far, make sure you're also logged into Schoology and taking a look at Unit 4, Lesson 2, where it says angles and parallel lines. Okay, so open this tab here. You should already have it open if you're accessing the video because the link will be here once I finish this video. But do have this up next to you. If you're doing the activity and you get stuck, I made a few videos here of, I think it's drawing 3 and 5, just to make sure everyone understands how to do those. If you get stuck, feel free to come and watch some of those. Anyways, GeoGebra Classic is going to open up and look like this. There's a lot of things happening. First of all, you don't need the bottom bit here that kind of looks like a calculator, so you can just scratch that off. This left portion here is kind of some information of the drawings that you're writing or drawing. You don't really need that for today, so just like scooch it to the side, make it nice and small. Also, you're going to see an X and a Y axis here, the Y axis and the X axis. We don't need that either. So draw your attention over here to the right side of the screen. You're going to see 2 darker gray lines. This is kind of the overall settings for the entire GeoGebra that you're drawing. This second one here is just the settings of the current page or drawing that you're making. Okay, so open that one for now. It basically has the same 3 little gray horizontal lines, but we've got little figures there. So click off that. Okay, so you see what I just did? Click that on and off, and now you just basically have a piece of graph paper, and we're going to draw a lot of the same things you could draw with a compass and a protractor, but we're going to do it digitally. Over here, turn on the top left area. These are all your different tools. And what's neat is if you click on something, it's all the things underneath it as well. So it's not just a line, but if you click on that option, you can change to segment, and you can do, all of these have many different options underneath. And this is really some advanced software. So you're going to see some, high school, college level things that we're not really going to get into, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this program. One other thing before you get started, change the rounding. So go to your overall, your larger gray bars here, and go to where it says settings and change the rounding to 0. Okay, we don't need super precise. We're looking for relationships, certain angles that might be the same, and it's fine to just round to the nearest degree. Okay, so this is basically where you start. What I want you guys to do next is I'm going to go through the first drawing with you. So if you're looking at your activity here, it says draw the following. Now, did we go through all of these? Looks like we did. Draw the following 3 segments that intersect at one point. All right, so 3 segments that intersect at one point. Segments are here, and all you have to do is click, and you're going to get segment AB. You can click from that same and go out here. You can click from that same point and go out like that. Okay, now GeoGebra does some default naming that, oops, sorry about that. Oh no, sorry, that's embarrassing. It does some default labeling here that you don't really need. Okay, so if you go to the Move tool, that's how you're going to select something. I don't really need to know that this is segment F as well. So if you go here again to the second one and the little letter A's, you can hide that extra name. So what it's doing is it's saying this is segment BC with those endpoints, but it's also calling it segment lowercase g. I just find that to be kind of redundant. I don't need that information. Okay, now if you're looking at the worksheet, it should say to find the angle measures of the 3 angles. Well, that's going to happen by using this angle tool. Okay, do you see where I am here? Click there with just angle. Now you can measure the degrees of all three of those angles. What you want to do is try and click. You're going to click the 3 points that make up the angle. You're going to try and click them in a counterclockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So go from C to B to A. And what's quite neat is you have just measured that angle to be 80 degrees. If you do it in the wrong way, so let's say I do this. Let's say I do C, B, D. What it's really done is it's measured this outer, we might call it the reflex angle. It's measured this outer bit. It doesn't really know, the software doesn't know. Do you want the outer, the larger, C, B, D, or do you want this inner angle? So you have to, it's important which order you click the points in. Okay, so you can just highlight it and delete it if you do it in the wrong direction. So going back to angle, try your best to go counterclockwise. So down here, oopsie, that happens a lot. Do the wrong thing, that's not a big deal. You can just undo. And I need to move out of the way because there's this message at the bottom that's getting in the way. Okay, so D, B, C, and counterclockwise is going to be A, B, D for that third angle. So at the moment, it kind of just looks like a green circle. Like it doesn't really look like it's measured those 3 different angles. So kind of a neat thing you can do is you can change the color. So I can highlight that angle there and I can change it to pink. Also, I just need the value. I don't need that extra naming. I can maybe call this one orange. And again, I just need the value. And then here, you don't have to go through and change these. This is just kind of my preference. So what's cool about using software to do our drawings is we can move things. We can manipulate things. I can move this point and it actually, the angle measures change in relation to how I adjust my drawing. You can see that they're moving around. Okay, so the question here is asking you, what do you know about the sum of the angles? Okay, a lot of you could probably guess that if you're going all the way around, you're going to get a sum of 360. If you add up, in my case, 112 plus 128 plus 120, you're going to get exactly 360. So here you can actually write, the sum is 360. Okay, so that's basically what's going to happen. Number 2, draw 3, I guess 2 segments would do it. So for number 2, you want to make really just 2 segments. Okay, so make a segment like this. Make a second one that goes off of there. Measure the angles. Measure the angle in here. Measure the angle in there. And then you might notice something interesting that you can write here. We call these blank angles. Look on the kind of picture vocabulary that we did. This word is somewhere on all of those terms that you drew the pictures of. So feel free to try and figure out what we call the addition of those 2 angles. It's not a straight angle. It's the 2 angles together making the sum of 180. There's a special word for that. Just like number 3, you make a 90-degree angle and you put a segment in between here. So now you're cutting it into 2. What are those going to add up to? What do we call them? Keep going. I have a video for number 3 if you're not sure how to use this angle with given size. Okay, there's a video for number 3. There's also a video for number 5. Okay, so for number 4, here's another hint. This is not just adding to 360. We already did that at number 1. Okay, so find all 4 of those angles. You might find something interesting about which ones are the same. And, so this is your task today. Try and finish all of these drawings. Again, go back to the VLE to get some helpful tips if you're stuck on some of the drawings. When you're done, I'll have a video that walks you through kind of the answers that I'm looking for and maybe some notes you want to jot down. And then here's the homework here for lesson 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that should give you a good start on GeoGebra. Don't worry about signing in or saving anything today. Just try and do some of your drawings. If you're curious about how to sign in, you can go here and you can just make a profile, or you can connect with Google and just use your school account there. That's not necessary, but if you are interested in saving your drawings, that's kind of how you do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all out.